Hey, welcome everyone to the Critical Music Club number 5, the All-Rockin Roundtable, a chance for musicians, DJs, music writers, and miscellaneous miscreants to meet and talk tunes. My name is DJ Bo. No stops, no caps, no brags, just facts. Shanghai's number 2 DJ. And our last topic is to discuss an album that you people, I blame you guys, voted on.
I did not.
Was not my decision. Maybe you're happy or sad about that. I don't know.
It's
But
one of the
it
best
is,
albums that have ever been released. It is one of the
Mayhem,
best.
Mysteriis Dom Sathanas. It is considered a black metal classic. I've got a lot of thoughts and feelings about it. But Austin, why don't you start us off and talk about why you wanted to nominate this album and what makes it so special to you? Because other than it being groovy, we got that point.
Yeah, because it is a very tight album, and it is very the players are all very disciplined, and they have to be disciplined in order to play this kind of music and be in sync and have it sound correct. But it also demonstrates, I think, how of all the different forms of like metal and extreme metal, black metal has been described as being the emotional output of metal. And you have like death metal and stuff as being cool and brutal, and you have power metal being like epic and about trolls and whatnot. But black metal is just very much like raw and unapologetic, and just a very, very like naked, soul-bearing experience that that really is on display, I think, a lot in this album. I think my favorite song on this album is probably "Freezing Moon." I think it's my favorite song ever. That and "Buried by Time and Dust." They're just such crushing songs that really build up. They're sequential. They build on themselves, and then they explode. And I'm just a huge fan of everything this album is.
Well, who's got who else wants to share their opinion?
Well, it's not for the faint-hearted.
I saw the performance from like 3 feet away in Bangkok. That small place I saw Exodus play at. But yeah, the drumming, go on, or whatever.
Yeah, well, the drumming is brilliant, isn't it? Super tight. And,
I didn't.
It's not really my style, but it's you gotta say it's good drumming.
What were you saying, Julia?
No, the drumming is great. I mean, it didn't seem like it was actually part of the band, but it was great.
Oh, but it ties everything like it. I'm not a drummer, but as a person who's played in I guess extreme bands before, like you can hear how the drummer is the timing of the rest of the band.
Not really, no. It seemed like the drummer just went off on tangents and did whatever the hell he wanted.
Oh, but it's very much the timing. Like,
oh no!
You can count it and count where the other band members are doing things.
Well, let me.
Dave, go on. Dave, you get it. Go on.
I want to.
Great drumming. It just seemed like it was a complete.
Like a nail gun.
Not even part of
it. There was skill involved with it, but I didn't groove to me. Let me say this, and I want to hear if you guys have wanted me to play any audio from it, I can. But like, if this album had some great song intros and some great guitar riffing, but I could not stand the vocals and I could not stand the drums. But for example, I'm gonna play the first minute of Pagan Fears, which I think is great. Unfortunately, there's another 4 or 5 minutes after that.
I think it's great. Like I really enjoy the vocals of it. I really enjoy how the hammering works with the rhythm of the guitar. It's like it's very in sync, and the vocals are like where a lot of the emotions come from. They're just like dire, and I mean they actually do work with the rest of the rhythm, and they're very much a performance. And like I saw a lot of this being performed like in a very small venue in Bangkok, where the lead singer was dressed in like chains and rags, and he had a human skull, and he was like yelling into the human skull from like that far away, and it was just like such a spectacle. Um, this album has a little bit of a weird context because this album right after it was or as it was being released actually the let's see what happened exactly. the lead
Harassment.
singer
Yeah.
the lead singer killed himself, and another member of the band found his body and then rearranged the body to make a good picture for another album cover, and then used part of his skull fragments to make a necklace, which made the rest of the band very angry at him. And then another member of the band burnt down a church and then killed him. And that's
That doesn't really bother me so much. I mean, it's not good, it's bad, but like,
no, it's terrible. And like the guy that did the killing and the church burning is a fucking horrible person. But
This is in Norway. This is in Norway, right?
yeah.
yeah.
And
What,
yeah, go on.
what did you think of the album, Ray?
I didn't hear it, but I've known about this for so long. I actually didn't listen to it, but this is something that my friends have been telling me about since I was in high school. They're like, "Oh, Norwegian church burners."
It's just not that's not even interesting to me. It's like, okay, you destroyed things. Like it's the sort of nihilism in the album. But I'll shut up. Alex, did you get a chance to listen
Well,
to it? What do you think?
they did that for very vain and very very like a lot of times. Yeah, you say like, oh, it's for a philosophical or political purpose, and really a lot of it was just for like kind of a vain,
Mhm.
getting. They want to make a name for themselves and be like, who's the most extreme or some bullshit like that. So this is one of those bands where you got to like question like, this like the guitarist. God, I forget the guitarist's name, but he's one of the original members. Like him and the drummer, one of the original members.
Erasmus?
And or Hellhammer is one of them. Yeah, right, right. And they're fine. They're just normal fucking people, And they're like, oh yeah, our bandmates are fucking crazy. Like, like,
Let's get some more opinions. Alex, what did you think of the album?
Well, I gave it a nice hard listen as I was doing my dishes and cleaning the kitchen. That was nice, good chore music. Honestly, I really like the drums in it, and when you were talking about their history about the lead singer killing himself and the skull fragments, it actually jogged my memory that, oh my God, I actually listened to a music history podcast about this band. I'm like, oh, that was so fun. So everything came full circle, but I really like the just everything. The drums felt chaotic, but I don't listen to enough black metal to kind of pick up on the nuances of the technicality of it all. But just all in all, I liked it. Like everything I felt kind of like it would cinch up and decinch and cinch up and decinch again. It was kind of like a really fun ride like for my ears. So
Fun was not the word I was expecting, even if you had positive feelings about it, but that's all right. Let's get some more opinions from people who haven't had a chance to talk yet. Peter or Roxanne or someone, just jump in.
I tried listening to it. I found it hard to listen to. It's not my taste.
It's, I gotcha.
But it would.
Nothing. Well,
I didn't know this was. I didn't even know about this. Actually, I would have listened to it, but I had no idea. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention or something.
You will be castigated later about that.
No.
Yeah. Like,
what about Kevin? Evan, what do you think of this?
I'm not. I don't think Kevin had a chance to hear it either. He was
Right.
a late jump on.
Oh, well, I've heard it before, and I like the musicianship. The drums do I find interesting that one person is doing all that all the time. I don't know how they record it, or I would think you could do it with maybe two drummers or something. But I just, well, I just can't go for people who use what I think are just cheap gimmicks in order to get famous. And so, if I wanted to be famous, I could probably do a lot of cheap things and probably get what I would call infamy or notoriety, but it's not positive notoriety, and I just can't respect it as an artistic choice. So anyway.
Well, here's
Right, but like that's like the things they do versus like the music they create, which is what I was trying to say is like, you have someone like well, I guess the person that was the
G.G. Allen or something.
Oh, G.G. Allen? Okay.
well, there's that guy, yeah, sure. Well, he's just a shit musician, but like,
Yeah.
you have like people that were playing on this album, like BorderBreaks, who is an unmitigated piece of shit. Yeah. But he's a brilliant fucking musician. So he does all these shitty fucking things, right? He went to jail for a long time for murder and church burning. And he's a fucking racist. And like, but like is it possible to separate what that guy has done or what someone has done and then the music they create, because I think the music is fucking beautiful and brilliant and emotional, and all the stuff they creates like about the moon or about fucking hobbits and orcs and shit, and then like can you separate those two things? Is that possible? To separate?
I can definitely see that, and like I think the musicianship is good. But I also do sometimes think, I know there's a lot of other musicians who are just as good, but you've never heard of them because they didn't earn this certain kind of notoriety that they didn't care whether it didn't, yeah, I mean, you didn't care whether it was good notoriety or bad notoriety. It's the old phrase that is, if you get your name in the paper, as long as they spell it right, and but because there's a lot of great musicians out there. I mean, there's people who are all capable of it. But who gets over? Sometimes it's a crapshoot. Sometimes it's who you know. And so I wouldn't not listen to the music just because of who I knew played it, and they happen to have some crime associated with them. But I mean, it's the same reason why I won't listen to Chris Brown or somebody. I'm just like, fuck that guy. I have only a limited amount of time to listen to things, and so I'm going to listen to things that inspire me rather than turn me off on some level, even if their musicianship is good. But yeah, I actually like the musicianship of this album. The vocals, I'm not a big fan of it. It sort of grates on me a little too much. But I used to, when I was younger, listen to some Yngwie Malmsteen. I was, and like, yeah, the musicianship is there, and so it's always impressive to me in those ways.
I think the vocals are like. I think the vocals are very much a performance thing. It's hard to. It's hard to like. If you like Mayhem, if you've seen them and you're in that kind of thing, then I think it's easier to like listen to and think about that way. But it's also another thing to like see the guy on stage and see him like yelling into the face of this like human skull and like.
There's an energy and art to it, and I can understand it. I just can't listen to it for that long. Because it's not aesthetically pleasing. You're right; it's impactful in a way, but after a while, I'll be like, I get it, I like it in some way, but not enough that I wouldn't put on something else.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I listened to the first 4 songs, and I thought the music was good, but it wasn't really the style I'm so interested in, and the vocals were. You can tell that if you were into this, it would be nice, but if not, it's hard to take it seriously. So I didn't keep listening to the album.
Let's connect it like this. So you talked a lot about the theatrics of it, and earlier we talked about music performances. So the most popular band that appeared on the top 5 list was Gwar, who shoots cum at the audience and cuts off heads, but it's purely in the realm of theater. With Mayhem, you have a group that did do the theatrical bits. They dressed up like monks or whatever, but they also crossed over to actually manifesting what they talked about. Is that crossing the line there, or do you need that sort of visceralness to make it actually effective?
Mayhem
In
was
some
very
ways,
much
it's to be admired, right? I mean, if you're going to really sing about this sort of stuff and you partake in it as well, I mean, yeah, they're not phonies.
well, right, because Mayhem was part of the Norwegian underground black metal scene that really went out and killed people and really went out and burnt things and really went out and did terrorist acts and they were part of this scene that was if you don't do this then you're not real, and it's
Well, let me say this.
kind of has a question mark next to it because yeah, it is fucking genius music and it's but holy fuck,
It's a lifestyle, not just a record.
Well, Roxanne, for example, when you listen to BTS, do you is there, or do you listen to any K-pop group, is their dancing and the personas important to you, or are you just listening to the music?
I think the dancing is definitely important, and that's one of their main selling points. And not to me especially, but to many people, the persona is important. And a lot of the K-pop bands, they're not even allowed to date or act any naughty way or something.
yeah,
And
but
the fans get really angry.
They actually have to sign contracts saying that they will not do this, and if they break it, they're out.
There's this girl from AK-48. It's this really big girl Japanese band, and she shaved her hair off after she got found out having a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just get chopped out. Depends how famous they are.
Yep.
But one of the guys from BTS was he's in jail now, right?
Not BTS, no.
Oh,
but
he got
I do
blasphemy, blasphemy, Austin, blasphemy.
Sorry, I thought one of them was convicted recently for a sex crime.
It was a Big
From
Bang.
BTS. Oh,
I
that
think
was
Big Bang.
Okay,
I think
whatever.
it's Big Bang. And
I don't think it was BTS. But I think I remember I heard about this news as well. I need to look it up.
Shame on you, Austin. But speaking of the Big Bang,
we're not knowing about K-pop, right?
we're exploding. We're going out. We're going back to the eternal blackness, guys. Thank you very much for joining Critical Music Club number 5. Peace.